What secrets does World of Light hold? We look at the new adventure mode for Smash Bros. Ultimate right here. What's happening, my blocked buddies, and welcome to a brand new episode of Blocked Content. My name is Galeem. This is going to be your content for today. It's looking like this awesome new adventure mode, World of Light, is holding so much content that the trailer couldn't just scratch the surface of what this mode actually is. Now, my very first impression of this was a little mixed. I mean, the opening cutscene was absolutely stunning and incredible, and now I can still find lots of cool details in there, and it's just generally one of the coolest cinematics that they've ever done for a Nintendo game in general, let alone a Smash game, right? Well, I think that beyond that intro, I think we're going to get a little bit more than just an intro and an outro cutscene, and I'm going to be talking about that today a little bit more, but also just the sheer fact that this mode seems to be a lot bigger than a lot of you guys have thought. I don't know if it's as big as Subspace Emissary was, or maybe even bigger, but there's a big chance that there's so much in this mode that we haven't even thought about. So I wanted to take a look at World of Light with you guys, so thank you so much for joining us, and let's just get right into this. Well, of course, everyone knows that World of Light starts out with this massive battle on top of a hill. And this is the exact same hill that Super Smash Bros. Brawl basically ended with, right? That was the opening of the whole thing, and it also ended with all the characters staring off into the sunset. Well, I believe that that's sort of in, general Smash Bros. Setting, right? That hill that characters look over. I feel like Super Smash Bros. Melee had similar imagery with all the characters standing together, and I feel like now we know why, right? They are looking not only just at the sunset, but that glow of that sunset. That is not just an X from Smash Bros. X, which was the name of Smash Bros. Brawl in Japan, but it might just have always been this Galeem guy, right? The winged character that looks almost like a Final Fantasy character. That's called Galeem, and he's the, big bad from this game. We don't know if there's another form that this character takes. I would imagine something like that. But it's generally thought, that this guy will definitely be a boss in the game and probably will be the final boss of the adventure mode World of Light. So just imagine a character like Taboo, right? But maybe not even a physical manifestation, just those wings and that big light, maybe as his eyes. And Galeem just, this boss battle basically being all these crazy, almost undodgeable moves. And what I thought was really cool about fighting with, against a character like Taboo is having all these characters to go through. And I think with a roster like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has, it would be really fun to, fight against Galeem with the entire roster. And every time a character perishes, another one jumps in, right? And the battle is so hard, the moves are so undodgeable that you have to have, more than half of the roster be knocked out before you can beat Galeem. So I think that would be a really fun way to fight that final boss. Now, in terms of the story, I feel like beyond Master Hand, Crazy Hand, and stuff like that, I think there are things in between. A little, boss battle as sort of a fortress, as they were in Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World. And I think that they could be guarded by characters like Master Hand or Crazy Hand. I think the reason we saw so many Master Hands floating in the sky is because we might be fighting Master Hands all over this story mode. Maybe they guard new characters, new spirit characters, maybe they are guarding new spirits in actuality. But I think that fighting Master Hand is going to be, the same old thing throughout the entire adventure mode. I think that we, Marth in the beginning said, I think we each need to take down about 10. I think that's like an actuality. I think every character needs to be fighting at least one of the Master Hands, and that's going to be a recurring boss in the game mode as well. I think in terms of the landscape of this entire World of Light, there is so much going on, so many details, and so many areas that look like, not even Smash Brothers areas. But we've seen Bridge of Eldin in there. We've seen a Sonic the Hedgehog kind of area up in there. We've seen maybe Death Mountain. Maybe we see something like the forest, which, come to think of Geno for stuff like that, and of course Castle Siege and other stuff like that. We've actually heightened up the brightness of this image and the saturation, and there are a lot of purple things going on, but also a lot of red. So the castles could still be Castle Siege, so it could be a general Fire Emblem area, which I think would be really cool. Now, some other details about this are that there is, of course, voice acting in these, awesome cinematics. And I think that is just what this needed, right? To set itself apart from Subspace even more. Now, I think in terms of characters that have voices, there are so many characters that Nintendo could be looking at for that game mode. I think it's not just the characters that we know of right up until this moment, which are, of course, Pit and Zelda and Marth, but I think that there's many possibilities for characters having voices. Just think about characters that do have voice actors and sometimes speak lines. I mean, Rosalina is one of those, Falco is definitely one of those, and think maybe of Mewtwo, right? Mewtwo has a voice. It's ambiguous whether or not, sometimes it's a male or female version, but in this game, it is the male version, right? It is even the voice-acted version in Japanese, so that could definitely happen. Mega Man has a new voice in the newer, Mega Man 11 game. That could potentially happen, but I don't see it happening. Samus, of course, has a voice actress, which would be amazing to hear some more lines. I've even been thinking about a Samus show where it's like Samus, analyzes different characters, and it's like, Samus's log, Bounty Hunter log. Now, we know that Mario has a voice actor, and it's Charles Martinet, and he's the sweetest guy in the entire world, but I don't think that he will do new lines for this game. I don't think he has done new lines for this game, so I don't think that he'll have new lines in the story mode, right? Now, King K. Rool has generic, crocodile grunts in this game. We have Pit, who's fully voice acted. We have Link now, but of course we know Link generally doesn't speak. We have characters like Shulk, who is fully voice acted in the games, but for some reason he didn't warn the other characters. So it was like, guys, watch out! So I don't think that there's some voice acting going on right there, but it's really cool that Fox has a voice now. I mean, the original voice, which is awesome. I could see Pokemon Trainer getting Ash's voice, or Satoshi's voice in Japanese. The Pokemon, of course, will still speak Pokemon talk, and there are characters like Marth that we know are speaking, and even characters that could potentially speak a lot, which I think would be awesome if it were like Wii Fit Trainer, because she has a voice. But also think of Snake, David Hayter's voice, and Sonic, I think it's Robert Craig Smith or something. But I mean, in any case, these characters have such robust voices that it would be a shame to just have it be those three or those four. I think it would be really amazing to have a bigger voice cast for the World of Light mode. And I think we can definitely do that this time. I mean, that's one of the things that I find is a big thing that they're still keeping behind, right? Maybe this is not the entire intro sequence, maybe it's a little bit cut down, right? There are people saying, hey, there is this view from very low to the ground where Shulk looks at Kirby, but we don't see the reaction shot, so we don't know for sure. Maybe the opening is a little bit longer, maybe we see a lot more characters perish. I mean, where's Mario? One of the most important characters in Nintendo and Smash history, we don't see what happens to him. Now, Nintendo could have said, we don't want that to happen to Mario. They may have reached out to all the companies, but I think that if we see Bowser perish and characters like Pikachu and the Pokemon Trainer and even Villager, then we should have seen Mario. So I believe that this is a cut down version of the original intro for World of Light, which we are yet to still see. I also think that even if it's, a taboo kind of reveal, that the final character we fight is still taboo, I think it'll make a little bit more sense in that world, because Smash Brothers, Sakurai explained it as characters being puppets, right? Characters being toys who really desperately want to become real and enter the real world. And taboo is that link between reality and the video game world. So I think that's really cool. And ultimately, the entire spirit concept for adventure mode and spirits in general, I think is very interesting. It has a lot of elements that I could say, well, it's more of an event match kind of thing than it would be an adventure mode, right? Where's the side-scrolling stages? Now, here's a theory that I have about that. I think there will be side-scrolling stages, but there will probably only be one, and it will be a side-scrolling stage that goes up to Galeem, the final boss. I think it'll be close to what the Subspace Emissary did near the end, the Great Maze, and we had that big maze that you traverse around. I think it will be similar to something like that. So a weird sort of spacey world where all the characters go through to fight the final boss. I think that Sakurai knows that we want side-scrolling stages and that he will implement it, but just once. Now, I think the rest of story mode, the adventure mode, is still left to be revealed. Of course, there's a lot of fighting spirits, there's a lot of unlocking characters along the way. This will be the game mode, I feel, where you will unlock every single character in the game. This is just the way to do it, right? We've seen a zoom out of what we've seen so far of the entire map where your character walks through, and there's still so much obscured by clouds. We have not even seen, 25% of this thing. There is so much left to find out for World of Light, and now the entire game is playable all over the world. There are demos set up. There's even here one that's starting tomorrow, which I am hoping to visit, and there's so much going on that I'm like, well, why doesn't anyone ever click on World of Light? Probably because it's not available in that build, right? But the entire game is complete, so we are going to know a lot more about World of Light when it releases, and it will just be about a month, a little less even, but on the other hand, I think that Sakurai still has one more video reveal up his sleeve. I think that before the game launches, we will get a segment of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in a Nintendo Direct. So no Smash Direct, or it will just be a general video update that he sends out. Either way, there's so much packed into this adventure mode that I feel is a culmination of a lot of these adventure mode tryouts, like the one in Melee, the one in Brawl, and just various concepts from the 3DS Classic Mode version, Smash Tour, Smash Run. I would have liked to see a lot more platforming into this, and a lot more fighting, generic enemies, but even seeing, there was this Girahim spirit that was basically, it was guarding a gigantic K. Rool, and it looked like, the Forbidden, which I think is so much fun that they're actually allowing you to fight against these assist trophies as if they were characters. So maybe we could even have a battle against Knuckles, we could have a battle maybe against Shadow, characters like that. I would be so up for a lot more of these boss types. And, as we talk about bosses, just think about the possibilities here. We've seen Galeem from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. We know that's the purple robot kind of like enemy, and he's guarding something like a Metal Gear Solid kind of area, right? And now we know there's a couple of enemies from the Castlevania series that you might be fighting. So, are there going to be lots of bosses in this game? I don't necessarily think so, don't get your hopes up. I do believe that we are going to get one from the Super Mario franchise, so that could either be King Bob-omb, that could be something like Petey Piranha with the two cages, as it is modeled in the game. It has the exact same animations, and it has the two cages, which doesn't make any sense. If it's just, the final Smash, they would have just made it a Petey Piranha thing, but it has the two cages from the Subspace, so they just ported that thing over just like Galeem. I think there will be some surprises in terms of boss battles. I'm hoping that they do Dr. Eggman. That would be the biggest thing, right? Fighting Dr. Eggman with any character. And of course we have Rathalos there, which is a big one, and big in every sense of the word. So I hope that for different franchise, I would have loved to see a Metal Gear fighting Metal Gear Rex, or one of the Metal Gear, the cow enemies, that would have been so crazy cool, the geckos. But in other words, I just believe that there's so much more to World of Light that we know up until this point. I hope that I've given all of you guys a little bit more to believe, a little bit more to dream about for this mode, because I think that there's so much more that we can go into with this mode, and we will in the future. So I really want to know what you guys think of this. Just put it down in the comments below. What is your idea that this World of Light will bring? Any bosses that you particularly want to see in the mode? So put it down in the comment. Maybe your comment will be featured in our next video. I'll read it out loud. And today's comment question comes from Diamond Surx, saying, blocked content, my idea is that you have to save the other cast of the original 12 first, then you save Melee characters, then Brawl-like, then Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, and the ending it off with Ultimate. But with boss fights before starting to save characters that were introduced in the other games, e.g. when all original 12 are saved, then a boss, then move on to Melee, and so on. The finale will be a fight against that new boss, and there might be a cutscene at the end. Sorry if that comment is long. Well, Diamond, don't worry. I like them when they're long because it means that we have a lot more to go into. Thank you so much, and that's what she said. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this. Of course, there is a giveaway. You can win this awesome Super Smash Bros. Ultimate pin, and thanks to Naomi, we know that there's just a little bit of a surprise more, because when you win that pin, you will also win an exclusive Super Smash Bros. Ultimate poster, which is cool. It's very simple, but it is awesome, and you will win that along with a pin. So thank you so much for that suggestion. And remember, everyone, we are on Patreon. For just $1 a month, you can support the channel. It means we get to do this daily. So thank you for everyone who's already supporting. And if you want to, maybe commission a video, some cool idea that you really want to see, well, then support us on Patreon and become a part of the channel. So remember, if you're not yet a member of the Block Content family, that's easy. Just click that subscribe button. That's all you got to do. And all this news, all the fun that you care about will be delivered every single day to you. That's just what I do. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you around the corner where there's always more Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Blocked content. See ya.